These steps for dividing fractions are very similar to multiplying fractions. Let's look at our steps first. The steps for dividing fractions are very similar to multiplying fractions, where you cross-simplify, multiply numerators and denominators, and then simplifying. The only difference is the first step, where you have to flip the second fraction, which is called the reciprocal. In our example of 3/8 divided by 1/2, we do nothing to our first fraction, so we just write that down. Our first step is to flip this second fraction right here. So 1/2, I just invert the two numbers, becomes 2 over 1. The next step is to cross-simplify. I'm going to look at my numerators and denominators that are on the diagonal to each other. I can see 1 and 3 only have a common factor of 1, so I'm going to ignore that. But 2 and 8 are both even numbers, and I can see that 2 is the greatest common factor that they have in common. So I am going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. So my new problem, my simplified problem, will look like this. Step 3 is to multiply the numerators and the denominators. So 3 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 4 is 4. The last step is to simplify. When you look at the product, you can see that 3/4 is already simplified. There's nothing it can be reduced by. The reason for this is because we simplified in step 2 while doing the cross simplification. So let's look at this problem again. If we choose not to cross simplify, the steps are the same. The very first step is that you need to flip your second fraction. So I'm going to bring down 3/8 because I'm not going to change the first fraction, and I'm going to flip the second fraction. So 1/2 becomes 2 over 1. If I choose not to cross simplify, my next step is to multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 8 times 1 is 8. My last step is to simplify my fraction. I can see that both 6 and 8 have a common factor of 2. They are both even. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4.